Details, they're for mopping up, like a lot of English people during the war, we ate octopuses and we used to always had to be wrapped up in a tea towel to comfort them, to create a womb-like environment.
You've gone too far, they're not going to believe that.
They might. One of them bought the Tower of London off of a bloke, didn't he? They're naive people. They are! Not Noam Chomsky or Bill Hicks or Richard Pryor, but no, a lot of them's very naive. Trevor, what are you looking at like that? Because it looks like you're staring at your own abdomen.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at an email that we've got in here.
Why is it written on your abdomen? What kind of... Have you got a computer in your tum-tum? Who are you, Metal Mickey?
Listen to this.
Too good to miss.
The best job I ever had so far has to be when I lived in Amsterdam, and I worked.
Why is it in that voice?
Because it's more exciting than my own voice.
That's true.
And I worked as a personal assistant for the house.
Hey, I worked as a personal assistant
for a house.
I was standing out in the corridor, and some wise guy come and touched me on the dick. I don't know why I done it. It made me feel quite sick. Go on in, Trev. Carry on.
There's a lot of surreal nonsense coming out today.
Look, I worked as a PA for some transvestites.
I worked as a PA for some transvestites.
Yeah, in Amsterdam, cool. So it's probably true. They were nice ladies.
Do that voice again, it's good, Trev. Eat some fudge!
They were nice ladies, but when you couldn't you couldn't get on the wrong side of them, they were permanently pre-menstrual as far as that was possible, being men and all. My role revolved around...
they are pre-menstrual because they ain't menstruated yet, not having a womb. And
well done. My role revolved around cleaning and fixing their wigs and costumes mainly. I hated sewing as well, all those pesky sequins were a right pain. But I used to do everything else too, like buying shoes, tights, thongs, glitter, and those hammock things to make their nethers go round straight like a teddy bear's.
That's why it's called the Netherlands. I've always wondered.
I don't think you've lived until you've had to go shopping in a foreign country for size 12 glam rock platform shoes in a certain shade of pink. And
is that a man or a woman?
Trevor, what's going on?
It's from Romy Lloyd Foxer.
I've just looked at the piece of paper that email was purportedly on. It was just a picture of Trevor with his own bottom splayed open, winking.
Yeah, but I don't know what that means.
Trevor, what's wrong with you? What kind of hieroglyphs is this? Come on, Matty Morgan, tell us that story. I'm sorry that I wasn't supportive enough. You know I've always loved you ever since we first met. Tell us a story about twin son.
Okay.
Boring!
This is a really good story.
Boring!
Build it up.
This is quite a boring
brilliant.
story.
Matt said, Trevor again said it was as good as the Iliad earlier. Come on,
I didn't say it was as good as the
Once
Iliad.
upon a time, picture it across the murky seas of time. Matt Morgan, babysitting for twins.
I was babysitting for twins who were about... every time I say twins, can you do that?
Twins.
No, that's going to...
Twins. You didn't say twins that time, but I was getting into it. Little Matty Morgan tells the story. It's gonna change everybody's life.
Have you drunk coffee this morning?
No, but I did have a little bit of crack, and I'll tell you this, it's very uplifting, very uplifting. They should give it to depressed people. No, I haven't, I'm just on an upswing. You don't want to be around when the laughter stops. Crack's bad, obviously, don't need to say that, but go on.
Yeah, well, I was looking after these two twins. And they were about... I don't know.
What are we looking after these twins for, mate?
Because it was the builder who I was working with, who was my girlfriend's sister's brother, husband.
Bloody hell, what a complicated world you live in.
Effectively, if I had been married to her, he would have been my brother-in-law.
And everyone would have probably felt a deep sense of regret that she could have done better.
Yeah. Well, anyway. So I'm looking after these two twins. I was 16, I was looking after two...
You shouldn't have been allowed to be
almost a twin yourself at that age, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the point, isn't it, Trev? You're almost a twin yourself. There's not a certain age, Trev, where you become twin-like. I don't know how your mind works.
Right, anyway. And their mum had left two little plates with their food on, right? It was like some crisps and those sandwiches like babies have. They were all...
cut the crust off.
Cut the crust off. And
sandwich spread in them, maybe.
Possibly, Russ.
Horrible, that stuff.
That's not focused.
Wasn't it?
Green bits, red bits. Like Tic Tacs, really, aren't they? Remember Tic Tacs, sweet ones?
It's just like, you know...
Want to try?
When your mum read you a story when you were in bed...
Hold on, Mum. Who's this E.T. guy? Baby, what does he want? What makes him tick? What's he after?
Was that a bedtime story?
I believe so, yes. E.T. and the Seven Dwarfs, yes.
So you didn't pay any attention?
E.T. lived in a forest. He dealt out medicines for HIV to Snow White and the Wicked Queen, as I believe, something like that. Come on, tell us.
Oh dear.
Oh, God.
Go on, now, tell us about the twins, baby.
Okay. And, yeah, so I was looking... there was only one high chair, right? And you couldn't feed them unless you put them in the high chair.
Why?
Because they were babies.
The
and
backs will flop over.
They weren't fish. They were babies. Anyway.
Hold on, this one's curling up at the ends. That means I'm jealous. That one's flipped over. I'm in love.
And anyway, so I put one in the little high chair, gave her food.
Yeah. What, was one a girl, one a boy?
No, both girls.
All right.
And then when she was fed, I put her down. But they were dressed identically, and there was only one height.
That's
And once they
confusing.
mixed in, I
can't
didn't know
tell.
which one I'd fed.
So hold on, what did you... They were in a pen or something, were they? You done when?
What do you know about children?
I don't know, it's a bit like that programme I've been watching recently, Guantanamo Bay. It's a sort of soap opera where people are being treated very badly by the Americans.
Okay, no, they were just running around on the floor.
Yeah. Just
They
scattering around.
were
loose.
dressed identically, weren't
No,
they?
toddlers, you know.
Really misleading.
So-
Turn your phone off, eat some fudge!
And so I picked up... well, what I did was I was trying to work out which one I'd eaten, so I picked her up and looked in her mouth, couldn't see anything. Looked close enough.
See if there was some debris.
Smelled.
You're not a dentist.
Smelled if they smelled sandwiches, couldn't tell the difference.
You smell of sandwiches, Watson. I've deduced that this is the criminal.
Yeah, so then I was going, have you had your dinner? Are you hungry?
We're trying to ask it a question.
Like, yeah, they couldn't
speak?
talk, obviously, no. So then I started to think, oh no, what do I do? So
Because you're trying to ascertain which one's eaten, you can't
Yeah.
tell at this
Yeah,
point. You've
exactly.
tried looking in the mouth, you've tried asking it outright, have you had some dinner? That's your two
And you've
methods.
done, he's done the sniffing method as
He's
well.
done the sniffing, that's 3 methods he's used there.
So what I used then was getting a sandwich off the second plate
Yeah.
and going up to them and going, do you want that?
So you
Do
reacted
want
most
that?"
strongly.
One of them couldn't be bothered with it, one of them grabbed out for it. So I thought, right, hello.
There, you found it.
That's it. That's the result. The one that wants that one wants a sandwich.
Put her in the chair, feed her, eats the whole thing. Lovely. Then later on, it's really tiring looking after
You're
children.
satisfied your work
I'm
is
laying
done.
on the sofa, nearly asleep, and they're watching some video that they wanted, right?
Crikey, I hope they did one and it weren't a video you wanted, otherwise there's 2 more children scarred for life.
No, it was something about little colourful people running around.
Blimey, that sounds like your videos, Matt, to tell you the absolute truth. None of them were doing horsebacky rides on each other, were they? Anyway.
And so then I looked over and thought, look at them. And I noticed that one was sitting there all fat and full up, and one of them was eating tissue.
One of them was all sated, gloating back, smoking a cigar,
they're too
patting himself on the belly, and the other one was eating the carpet.
Actually eating like tissue out of a bin.
So you just stuffed one with full of grub and the other one was starving?
Yeah.
I hope you immediately rectified that by making a
I
sandwich.
panicked and
Oh, panicked! Thank God! Thank God Matt is here! Thank God there was someone
What did
there
you
to
do?
go
What
into
did
a
you feed
flap.
it?
just stuff.
What
mean, just
stuff?
stuff?
Mini cheddars.
Oh, Matt, that's not food for a baby. I bet he didn't even take the
How
wax
old
off.
are these twins now?
11.
Well, actually, one of them's dead.
Is one of them seriously ill?
Malnourished. I think one of them's not alive. They probably grew up to be my Italian girls. What kind of a life was that for anybody?
they're
they
both-
were girls.
they're
They were
both fine.
sisters.
They
Are they fine though?
absolutely fine.
Strangely
they-
competitive around meal times?
Has one got a really chalky bones and the other one stride around all confident, kicking over tables? I can eat whatever I like. Fee, fi, fo, thum. Excuse me. When you've finished, do you think I might have an earwig out your pocket? No! More sandwiches for me. Just one earwig.
I think, imagine Russell had been a twin. How awful.
Absolutely.
Maybe that, I think he was a twin. He absorbed the other one's personality
I ate it.
and nutrients. And there's a little husk Russell somewhere.
Little husk Russell like Dorian Gray, up in the attic, absorbing all my sins. Where does it end and where does it begin? There's no such thing as morality. You might as well live life just doing what you like. Pop out in the garden, have it all. There's no point trying, there's no point crying. One day soon we'll all be dead, you might as well live your life.
An excerpt there from Russell Brand, the musical. Still seeking backing.
Don't need no backing, my twin will do that, won't you, Husky? Oh, I feel weak. Subject jobs from Busboy. Hi, I'm a postman and one of my workmates was busting for a crap. What a delightful bit of language.
Well, you read it out.
Busting for a crap. I'm busting for a crap while on delivery, but no toilets nearby. He knocked on the door of the house he was at and asked to use the toilet. The woman said no and shut the door. A couple of minutes later, he knocked on the door again and said, have you got a plastic bag to pick this crap out of your garden? The woman was not impressed. Well, how could she be, busboy? How could anybody be impressed by that? Trevor, does that make your blood boil?
It does. But you've got to admire his, ingenuity.
Ingenuity. That's not ingenious. I can pull down my trousers and pants and do a whoopsie.
Oh, I think that's good. Good on him. He did it in a garden. He did it in a garden, didn't do it on the street.
Didn't do it on the street. I once, driving to work, I wasn't driving, I was sat still, right, saw a man in broad daylight just take down his trousers by Euston in London.
Yeah, it's probably a rugby player.
Just do a whoopsie.
Or a rugby player. Rugby players do it.
What do you mean?
Rugby players do it.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
Like, it's like...
That's all rugby players.
Yeah, it's like a badge. It's a badge of masculinity.
Do you think that's how Johnny Wilkinson mastered those drop kicks? Just squat, plop, turn and boot. Plop, squat, turn and boot.
50% of all rugby players have defecated in public.
Send us a text. It's another one of Trevor's ridiculous lies.
It's not a lie, it's true.
64046. We've got some great stuff coming up on this show. Cocky Trevor Lockie is going to be doing a Sonic Enigma. Matt Morgan's going to do a nice cultural review. We've got a BBC session track coming up right now. This will be interesting. Let's have a listen to it, and afterwards we're going to discuss it in such detail that blood will come out of your ears.
BBC Six Music.
Cocky Lockie, you got the emails you want to read out?
No, there was one on the screen I was reading there. It looked quite interesting, but it hasn't been printed off yet.
Oh, what a brilliant story. This guy, imagine that. It's on the screen, but
Was I waving to you going, come to me, I've got a text, I've got an email? No, I wasn't.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, so why did you come to me then?
Just thought you might have something to say. Thought you might like to contribute to the show. After all, you get paid for it.
Russell.
Yes, mate.
It amuses me greatly to think of you doing jobs which aren't on telly or radio.
Why, mate?
Because just the thought of you being a normal person is hilarious to
It's
me.
ridiculous. It was really embarrassing, wasn't it? What about even that downtime period when all the jobs were destroyed by us? I can't remember which one of us, it was me or you. One of us went all mental and we lost all our jobs. And there was that period where it was just, we'd had no money and it was just awful and dull. Do you remember?
I remember, like, getting on the... I remember when... Because now you get cabs everywhere, but when you used to get the tube, and also when we had no money, he used to just get on the tube with no ticket. And I remember once he jumped over the barriers and the London Underground man goes, What are you doing? And he went, I'm from the future. So things like that.
I'm from the future. I'm not bound by your rules. That barrier's only there in your mind, man. Let's
He used to do
go.
things like that a lot. He used to step into the road. This is original to you. This.
Yeah, it is.
He used to step into the road, and I'd go, Russell, what are you doing? I'd nearly get run over. And go, the motor car is not invented for 50 years. Come on.
We have another 50 years till the first automobile will be invented. They simply cannot run us over. I forbid it.
Do you remember when you could travel on the Underground for free with those tickets that were 18 months old?
Trevor, no, that's you probably with some twins that you've kidnapped. Come on, look, this one's just said its first word. It said £10 fine, £10 fine.
What do you mean, 80?
Well, basically, I'll probably get into trouble now and arrested, but...
I should hope you will.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Permit to travel. That's
Wait,
not true.
no. You just get a ticket. Oh, dear. Look, I heard that if you got a ticket then it was 18 months old...
yeah.
and it's
Oh,
own
they
1 to
start
2,
working again.
They just worked as a universal free
Really?
pass on the Underground.
This doesn't work anymore. That's
It doesn't work
interesting.
anymore, no.
doesn't it?
No.
They've probably ironed out that loophole.
What with the Oyster card?
Oh, the Oyster card.
Here's a text message. Oh, dear. Look at this.
Go on then, read it out.
It's from CK. Morning, Russ. I think Trev might be right about rugby players. I once went out with one, and he told me he had to eat a poo sandwich on a rugby tour.
Blimey.
Yeah,
Why would you ever do
Is
that?
that a gentleman?
Because you're a rugby player. No, that's a lady.
What's her name? Why don't you credit people, Trevor?
Cat. She's called Cat. Catherine K.
It's as if you're bitter. Someone
Yeah.
sends in a text message, Trevor. You should be grateful. You shouldn't be attacking them because their name's Cat. She's called Cat. She thinks she's got rights, but she's actually got none.
Here's
Cat.
one. Here's one. I'm not a rugby player, and I have never crapped in the street.
What, so
Okay,
that's evidence to the contrary?
So that-
well, I suppose
it's
that's
just a
supportive.
meaningless thing. I'm not a rugby
meaningless.
player, and I've never crapped in the street, but I wouldn't mind crapping on Trev's ridiculous Sonic Enigma.
Good.
That's from Darren in Belfast.
Brilliant idea. Nor would I mind, Darren. It's actually...
Maybe we should
more than
invite him in
deserves.
next week. Maybe you can do that.
Well, I
How would you
suppose
do
so,
that?
because it's an abstract
Because you
idea,
get
isn't
it
it?
poo on my buttons. He's not doing it.
Which is something that Matt has to say in his sex life twice a day. I've got poo on my buttons, says Matt Morgan, then scurries out of a brothel.
That would mean that you've been rude to
Depends
a
what buttons
pantomime
are.
character.
Let's not be toilet.
Let's not be puerile. What about when I used to have that job? Yeah, it is funny when I had to do
What about
normal
that
jobs.
job where you used to teach English to girls that you basically just taught them how to have one night stands?
Right, okay, welcome to the English Club. There's this place called, there was a school on Oxford Street. You know when you see it on Oxford Street in London, there's people giving out leaflets, come and learn English, right? And with that job, it's a good job, right? All they do is they go, right, okay, we give you a week's training, and the way English is taught is just from a textbook. You just, like, they give you this textbook, and you go, essentially, you just stand behind a podium with about 20 or 30 women from all around the world, some men in there as well, but I tried not to focus on them, and just read out slogans, like bits of...
Slogans?
Well, not slogans, I suppose they're lumps of language.
You'll
I
never
suppose.
put a bit of butter on your knife. Milk Asgarda, a lot of bottle stuff like that.
Stuff like that,
Standard of English that's been taught.
I know, yeah. Someone came up to me, a Swedish tourist on a bus, and just said, "You'll never get better than a quick fit fitter." The other day, and I said, "I will get better. There's nothing wrong with my exhaust." And then I went, "Pfft," and so the joke was on me in a way.
Finger of fudge.
Oh, Trevor.
Sorry.
That's your own private affair. So, eat your fudge, Trev! Eat your finger of
A
fudge!
little bit slow there, weren't you?
Oh, come on. So, yeah, I was used to do this English class, and you have to just go through the book saying things like, I open my umbrella